Kakadosh Boker Tov, Shuta Rav Mansur Shlita. We're just going to be continuing with the halachot. We are on Siman Daled, Sif Yud Gimel. We're talking about a case right now in Ilchot Netilat Yadayim if a person was awake the entire night. So Maran says, Im haya neor kol halayla, if somebody was awake the entire night, yesh li stapek, we have a doubt whether to do Netilat Yadayim Shachrit in order to come and to pray and to take off the Ruach Ram Yadav. And therefore the Rama adds in, so therefore if you have a safek, what are you doing? Vitalem belo beracha. You do Netilat Yadayim without a beracha. Here the Mishnah Berurah brings down, what are we talking about? Obviously we are talking about that a person did not sleep. Because if a person did sleep, so then even if it was part of the night, lechuli alma he's going to do Netilat Yadayim. Right? But as long as he slept, Bagdarat Keva. What does that mean? First of all, even if a person does go to sleep after Chatzot, he still does Netilat Yadayim, right, with the beracha and everything, and that's also the Ben Ish Chai, right, as well. There's no difference whatsoever that you're going to do Netilat Yadayim. That means you went to sleep after Chatzot, doesn't matter, everything's like normal. What about if you slept before Chatzot, which means you slept before Chatzot, and let's say at 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, and then you woke up before Chatzot. So here, it's brought down in the Ben Ish Chai and the Kaf HaChaim, you do Netilat Yadayim, Kadin V'varech. Right? You do regular Netilat Yadayim. Why? At the end of the day, you did sleep, and it was nighttime. However, the Rav Vadi Yosef, in Alichot Olam, he wants to say that you should do Netilat Yadayim without a bracha. He says, why? He says that maybe Birkat Netilat Yadayim is like Birkot HaShachar. What does that mean? That Birkot HaShachar, you never say Birkot HaShachar before Chatzot. Right? And therefore, since you don't say Birkot HaShachar before Chatzot, you would only do it minimum after Chatzot. That's what you also see in whether it's going to be the Tikkun of Leil Shavuot or all the other Stefanim, right? Whenever we're going to be up all night, you never do Birkot HaShachar at the beginning of the night. You're only doing it after Chatzot. So says Rav Ovadia, the same thing, you would only do Netilat Yadayim after Chatzot. But then he finishes off by saying, but you do have what to rely on if you do make the Beracha of Netilat Yadayim right away. So you do have what to rely on. Okay. Now we have to understand what does it mean when the Mishnah Berurah said that you slept something which is called keva, which means you slept a fixed sleeping. So when we're talking about that, it usually has to be minimum of half an hour, as we're going to see later on in the Shulchan Aruch, and Rav Ben Zion also Abba Shaul says the same thing. If you're going to sleep less than half an hour, or more than half an hour, but not b'mitah, or b'tzura ra'it, for example, you slept right on the table, right, or right by the table, it's not considered Shenat Keva. And therefore, since it's not considered Shenat Keva, you do Netilat Yadayim without a beracha. By the way, this is a misconception that people say, because everyone brings down the Rashi, that Rashi says that for 14 years, Yaakov Avinu didn't sleep in the yeshiva in Shem Va'eved. So everyone thinks literally he didn't sleep for 14 years. We know it's a Gemara Mefureshet that doesn't exist, right? You cannot be for 14 years without sleeping. So what it means over there is that when he says that he didn't sleep until now for 14 years, he didn't sleep something keva. What is something keva? Again, keva means either more than a half an hour, or what it means is it's going to be that it wasn't in a bed. It was just basically by the shtender. He's coming, he's learning the entire time in the Bet Midrash. Again, he dozes off. So even if it's going to be more than half an hour, but it was never going to be like that. We do know that the Gaon Mivilna, it's actually brought down that the Gaon Mivilna was very careful with this concept that he never slept for more than a half an hour, and he slept 2 hours a day in half an hour intervals, which means that it was like a very important thing to him about the Shitin Nishmi, this concept of how exactly are you sleeping. The next halakha though is I just wanted to mention, because it's going to become a very big machloket between the Mishnah Berurah and the Sfaradim. What exactly is the machloket? Says the Mishnah Berurah, he comes and he says that obviously Netilat Yadayim here is talking about the 3 times, but then he says some people they argue on the Raman, they say that you do have to make a beracha, and some other people they agree to him. Says the Mishnah Berurah, v'chol zeh belo asat tzerachav. That's only if you didn't do your necessities. He says, aval im asat tzerachav kodem tefillah, but if you did go to the washroom before the tefillah, haskamat ha'achronim debazeh tzarich litol yadav u'varech. Then the achronim say that you do Netilat Yadayim and you make a beracha. And that's v'chen nachon la'asot lechatechila memin sheneor kol halayla. Says the Mishnah Berurah, that's the way to do it. If you're going to be awake the entire night, for example, Beleil Shavuot, ya'aseh tzrachav v'yotim ha'mishafshef, you come and you do your necessities, and then you're going to come, she'az lechuli alma yitchayev levarech, then you're going to come and you're going to make the beracha of al Netilat Yadayim and asher yatzar. However, though, right here it's actually brought down that it's not actually 100% correct according to the other shitot. Remember that according to Shitat Rashba, the entire reason is because of B'riyah Chadashah. It's not only just because of whether it's going to be preparing ourselves for the tefillah and for other things. And therefore, again, the question is, lo plug over here. At the end of the day, if you weren't a B'riyah Chadashah, but you stayed up the entire night, so now why are you going to come and you're going to make a bracha? So therefore, what you do is you do Netilat Yadayim without a bracha. And that is the psak of the Kaf HaChaim, the Or Letzion, and the Halakha Brura. Rav David Yosef says the exact same thing, that even if you did come and you did do your necessities, you would still come and it doesn't matter, you would not come and make the beracha. Vafilu asa tzracha baboker lo yevarech b'shem malchut al netilat yadayim. Right? But he says, u'mikom hakol she'asa tzracha yevarech b'shem malchut asher yatzad. You just do asher yatzad, but you're not going to do netilat yadayim with the beracha if you stayed up the entire night. The only difference is going to be that the halakha brura is lenient in a case of Shenat Arai. Now why? Listen carefully. He says like this. If a person came and he slept Shenat Arai, so we just said that according to the Mishnah Brura, right, he says that it's only you're going to be Shenat Keva, you would come and you would make the bracha aval netilat yadayim. Meaning you did sleep. So you didn't sleep. But you slept Shenat Arai. So we already told you what is Arai? Either less than a half an hour or more than a half an hour, but it wasn't a fixed sleeping. It was by the table, you put your head down. So, but that's called Shenat Arai. Says Rav David Yosef, he says, יש אומרים שדינו כדין שלא ישן בלילה כלל, ויש אומרים שצריך ליטול ידיו ולברך על נטילת ידיים. ולהלכה נראה, so here להלכה he comes and he says, it comes out, that שכדי לצאת ידי ספק, יצא לנקביו, here do go to the washroom, and touch your body parts which are covered, ולאחר מכן ייטול ידיו ויברך. And here you're going to come and you're going to make the bracha. Now why? Because here he's basically doing like a sefek sveka levarech. What are you trying to do? Basically what you're trying to do is that there's a machloket, as we already mentioned, that according to the Mishnah Brura, just going to the washroom is already enough. Meaning you didn't sleep at all. Just going to the washroom is already enough. You come and you make a bracha al netilat yadayim. Then there's another machloket. What about Shenat Keva? So he comes and he says, since you have both, I'm putting both of them together, you did sleep a Shenat Arai. Shenat Arai on itself, meaning if you're not going to sleep a fixed sleeping on it's not enough to make the bracha. But that, with going to the washroom, now you put both of them together. Now you're putting both of them together, that on each one, some people say you come and you make a bracha. He says, let's set to this safek, that's what you're supposed to do in order to make the bracha al netilat yadayim. So if a person did go to sleep on the night of Shavuot for a little bit, right? So again, what he has to do is according to Rav David Yosef, what he's going to do is that afterwards he goes to the washroom and now he's able to do it. According to the Mishnah Brura, anyway, the second he went to the washroom, that's it. He makes the bracha al netilat yadayim anyway. But according to Sfaradim, you wouldn't do it. But here you're putting both of them together. Now, if a person did not sleep at all and he's sleeping, right, and he went the entire night, again, according to the Mishnah Brura, you go to the washroom, you make the bracha. According to the Sfaradim, whether it's Or Letzion, the Kaf HaChaim, and the Halakha Brura, Rav David Yosef, you do not make the bracha at all. You do Netilat Yadayim without a bracha.